Good night tonight.
Good night to Kawhi Block. What's up, though? Bro! Is it halftime? I bet at halftime. I'm like, this is the most boring hour of my life. Freaking finals, bro. Thunder are up 14. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Alright, so I know when to check back in for halftime.
And there's a lot of excited basketball fans revved up and ready to get going. Hi, everyone. We're coming to you live on 2K Sports, bringing you the NBA. Along with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. We got one more and a chance now to see how teams are faring across the league. Here's the latest edition of the Power Rankings. You look at the Timberwolves. They're moving on up, 4th spot in the rankings this time around.
And Houston, they were obviously hoping to start out better. Still, too soon to panic. But lately they've had very little luck and seem to be trending in the wrong direction.
Here are the starters for Los Angeles. The guard pair, it's Harden and Powell. And small and power forwards, Leonard and Batum. And it's Zubac in at the 5. And for the Rockets, at the guard positions, Van Fleet and Green. The great out there with Jabari Smith. And it's Landale in at the 5. And it's Harden with the ball for the Los Angeles Clippers. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Houston this season.
And even though they're one of the top teams, they dropped the season series to this squad. So sometimes matchups play a role.
And the Clippers getting that contract extension done with Coach Ty Lue. They've really invested in the future, haven't they, Sean?
A nice, shiny new arena and everything that they built in L.A. And yet, this is a talented and aging roster. The clock is ticking for this iteration of Clippers basketball around Kawhi Leonard. They know the time is right now.
And they've added Jeff Van Gundy, so another great basketball mind on that staff. Here's Harden. The game against Oklahoma City, very impressive. Sinks the three-pointer.
You could see that coming. Harden was going to answer back, and he did.
Rockets have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Houston moving it around. Pass to the great. Here's Landale. Zubac defending, and he makes that one.
Now they're playing working to perfection there, if that was their plan. And if it wasn't, maybe that should be their plan.
I won 16 yesterday off the Marab, the Guava Shoes.
Now, here is Harden.
Really
With
fight,
an average of around 19.5 points a game, his scoring has been a constant for them. Good on the bucket.
Offense clicking early here, 3 for 4 to start this one.
Houston's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Van Vliet passes to the great. Smith on the wing.
Can't put too hard for fighters.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first.
That's just
offline from the top of the key.
Just like if we got a Alex Pereira versus Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira is most likely going to be the favorite for that fight, but it's still like,
outside Leonard. Here's the 3.
Like I say, Juliana Pena, like the Sean Strickland that division.
He's made one and missed one.
But I'm going to just say that I think she's a true champ. I wish she had a more of a combat fight against her. Because Juliana didn't even get to really tap into like that combat. So like there was literally no bruise on either fighter's face.
Kevin,
So
I knew
that
at the
was
age
the
of
level
16 years old what
of boring as that fight
I
was. So.
wanted to take an insider for the
And
NBA
even the
because
men's
I love
like was
playing
boring because I just knew Marab was going to Marab just balled him to the end, and that's just Marab's like him being a freestyle wrestler effort
I
is
am
what
one of the
makes
fans.
you
That's why I
better.
feel like I can relate to the fans, and so that's what inspired me mostly to take this
Being able to
path
fully
on.
control
So connected.
the outcome
It is
of
a
a fight
pleasure
due to
reading
your
you and hearing you.
physicality,
Kevin,
because
appreciate
you
you
are
so
the
much,
best
and just know the
and
stories will
one
keep
of the
coming.
only
No
freestyle
problem
wrestlers
knocking that
in
one
all
down.
of the game.
And
It
Batum
says
pretty
a lot.
consistent from
Like
the
the way he
three-point
was
line.
taking him
Defenses
down
could
was
not
so
afford to give him
unorthodox.
that
The way
kind
he
of
choked
slack.
him out, even though it may be
Smith
a
outside.
normal choke to see in sparring
And the
and
officials calling for a 3-second
training.
violation. And here we can check out the story for him.
And in the last
It's
5
still
games,
like
he's made a
it
bunch
was a
of
legendary. It
hustle
was a
plays
legendary
on the
chokeout too. The way he
glass
choked him out
more
was
than
like,
anywhere else.
mind you, nobody
His
got their heads
rebounding
knocked
totals
off
in
except
these
for
games
Kevin
shows a
Hollis.
dramatic increase
guy.
from his
And he
numbers
put him
during the
he
rest of the
was gonna put
season.
him to sleep.
Back to Harden.
So I like Kevin Holland, bro. I think he deserves a lot more
6 on the shot clock.
opportunities, but I think he does.
And he banks in the
define his
layup.
spot.
Harden's got 5 points so far.
Well, Harden just outworking them inside. Could we say he wanted it more?
Let me check what halftime looking like. All right, so Thunder up 18 at halftime. I'm gonna see what the market looking like. I got a good chunk to bet with tonight, so I'm gonna take a Halliburton. I'm gonna just throw 36 cents down on it because he's not a guaranteed hitter. It's just saying he's gonna be the first 3-point shooter. He's gonna make the first 3-pointer. I got Chet Holmgren and Nembhard. They're definitely both hitting that. I'm gonna throw $1 down for that. Then what I'm gonna do now is start taking the points. So I got Jalen Williams scoring 15. Chet, I think Chet can score 18, but I'm not gonna put it on him. I got Nembhard at 15. We're gonna go Tyrese 3-pointers made. And I guess for the game lines, I got the Pacers definitely covering a 26.5 spread. So ultimately 27-point spread. Throwing a boost on that, throwing $1 down. I think this will cash tonight for sure. One of these are gonna hit. I think I just put into like some pretty logical ones. If not, I'll just hold on till later. All right. Back to it.
The great passes to Smith. Van Vliet against Harden. Pass to the great. Outside, Green. In the corner, Smith with it. Shams, it seems like with these younger teams coming, we may be witnessing a transfer of power in the NBA. What do you think?
It's really due to the parity that we're seeing in the league, and we haven't seen this much parity in a really long time. It's wide open for teams in both conferences, in the East and West, to claim that top perch. We have to give the league a lot of credit. There's tons of parity.
Which I think is leading to expansion talk, correct? We've got so much talent right now, we can kind of let it ooze out a little bit to some other areas.
Certainly expansion, couple more teams in the league. The league really loves where they're at now. And any given year, anyone can win.
It's just useful.
The three from Harden. It's not going to fall. He's taken 4 shots and made 2. It's trailed by 5. Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
I was able to talk with Ime Udoka for a minute. And our coach told me the key is to stay disciplined on defense, especially when guarding James Harden. He said James is special offensively. He's a master at manipulating defenses and drawing fouls. So, of course, they don't want to give him easy points at the foul line. Guys?
So
thank you, David.
That first one, I don't know how we missed it.
Clippers leading by 3. Outside Leonard. Back to Harden. Pass to Powell. Here's Leonard. There's the 3. It's through for a second basket. He's now 2 for 6.
Yeah, the D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
Outside Green. Here's the great against Washington. He was really on his game. And the league continuing, Shams, to tweak the rules around replay review. But would you set a time limit to maybe tweak it a little bit?
Have to, right? Especially some of these games and the way they're ending. It's something to try. If you can't find a cause to really overturn in a minute or 2, let's keep this game moving. I think we all love a free-flowing game.
I agree.
The great hustle from Harden in transition, getting up the court as quickly as possible.
Van Vliet passes to the great. Pass to Eason. Here's the great. On the wing, Green. He's covered by Bogdanovich.
And if you really want to make things hard on yourselves, this is exactly...
And so Holiday will bring it up for Houston. 11-point game. The forwards for him will be Brooks and Smith. And there's the great. And it's Green. And it's Holiday. And at the point, that's the group starting the second quarter for the Rockets. Outside, Simmons. High, arcing shot. And they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a 3-point play. Jalen Green's checked in for Houston. Red Van Vliet comes in for Aaron Holiday. Let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Los Angeles.
They've looked to fire as much as possible from outside the arc, and so far they are hitting at a high clip.
The attack can come from a lot of ways, either execution or by just getting on the bounce and driving it in, and that's where they've been very effective tonight.
And in last year's playoff, Shams, we did see a lot of players injured and unable to play. What are some of the solutions that may be being talked about that you hear about?
People certainly ask if this is a result of the 65-game rule. Is it the more physical play? Is it the consequences of the regular season? The league is going to take a wait-and-see approach to determine if this is an issue they have to fix. But they do love the results of what this has brought as far as player availability moving forward.
Yeah, they do seem sold on that 65 number, don't they?
100%. And at the end of the day, some of these injuries are flukish. There's a lot of, obviously, lower body injuries, and you can't measure that. I think the league is going to want to see more data over the next 5 to 10 years to really determine, does this rule impact the game and impact injuries?
That might not be the shot they want him taking, even with the D backing off.
Dunn kicks to Zubac. To the paint. The kick out to Brown. Bangs home the trifecta. Brown's got the lead up to 14 now for Los Angeles.
You can't leave anyone uncovered around Simmons. He's fantastic at sensing when one of his guys has got some freedom.
Here's the great. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. The great's got 4 points this quarter.
Can't talk enough about the subtleties in that setup right there. The assist really the key to that entire sequence.
And it goes down 2 points.
That's a pretty soft touch for Bogdanovic, trying to do some damage on the inside now.
Here's the great. That's in, and that's his 4th basket of the night. He's taken 7 shots, a solid 57%.
Maybe he's thinking at this point, man, somebody's got to help me. I can't do this all by myself.
And as the salary cap looks set to rise significantly, Shams, any major effects that you can anticipate?
It won't be like the year the Warriors signed KD. They're going to smooth the cap numbers, and it's not going to spike quite the same. But these numbers will continue to get eye-popping when you think about player salary, and you have to keep in mind luxury tax and the new second apron that came into play with the collective bargaining agreement, and that will play a part in how teams build, not putting yourself in a restricted position to continue to build winning organizations.
A lot of moving parts to contend with, but boy, a lot on the horizon. Rockets trail by 10. Fires from deep. And again, the basket is good from the great. The great's got 13.
This is not a player who likes to be trailing in any game. That lights a fire.
Dunn kicks to Simmons. And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Brown finds Bogdanovic. 6 to shoot. Three-pointer. The offensive rebound. And the call will go against the great. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
This is one where the second foul is probably going to cost you some minutes in this
coach,
game.
I had to make that foul. He was going to get a cup, drive to the cup. I'd rather get that block.
This will give him a chance to discuss some potential alterations. Houston making a switch.
And I got you.
Landale's checked in.
Bounce back. We all good.
And then for the Clippers, Leonard, he's checked in for Brown.
Hey,
Norman Powell comes in for Dunn.
That's cool. No
and James Harden subbed in for Simmons.
See James. We got him. He's coming.
Here's Harden. Kicks it out to Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. Some rookies have had a very hot hand this season. These are the best three-point shooters in the NBA's freshman class. Now you look at the great, one of the best shooters in the NBA, top 5 in the league at this moment.
And I think there's a little rivalry among that group of rookie bombers. I know he'd love to see his name all the way at the top of the list.
Late June, NBA free agency is such a busy time for you, Shams. During the start of that hectic period, walk us through your day. What's your life like? I've asked you this before in previous times you've been out here with us, but do you get any sleep?
I'm up 24/7 because the great part about free agency, Kevin, is you never know when you might get that call, you might get that text. When a player has committed, when a player has decided to go to a specific NBA team, that is what I live for. That's what I know the fans live for, and I'm one of those fans, so I want to make sure I know as well, and I'm able to inform in an appropriate, timely, responsible, and fair way, and accurately. So for me, there's not much wiggle room when it comes to sleep. I try to make up for it later. But NBA free agency, trade deadline, draft, those are time periods when I know I have to be on. I might be getting a call now, Kevin, actually.
Well, wait, I was just going to ask you. We're doing this game. I'm looking at your phone. It's lighting up. You're looking down. You're looking at the game. You're talking to me. You're doing 2 things at once.
I have to be multitasking at all times, Kevin. You know that.
Oh, it's the best. And now we've got some time to check in from the sideline. You got for us, DA?
Kevin, thanks very much. James Harden is still a factor at age 35. He says, I'm more than a scorer, so for me, it's just impacting the game at the highest level. Kevin, he's led the league in scoring 3 times, but has also led the league in assists. So it's pretty much true. Back to you.
Thank you, David. Oh, don't forget, he rebounds as well as any guard right now in the NBA. Tari Eason's checked in for Fred VanVleet. And the Clippers making a change here as well. And Simmons, he's checked in for Zubac. Leonard finds Simmons. It's stolen by Smith. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. It's on Kawhi Leonard.
And showing some fearlessness there. Smith doesn't mind getting hit while taking the shot.
All right, Shams, I know you can't reveal all your secrets, but how do you develop relationships with your sources, the players, the agents? the GMs, the scouts all over the NBA.
It comes year after year. This has been something I've been doing for the better course of the last 15 years. So for me, it's about relationships, it's about daily communication, and making sure that I keep the trust, I keep the faith, and I keep a level of respect with everyone that I come across. Relationships are the name of the game, especially in the NBA.
Well, that's what I've heard about you. They trust you. So if they're going to confide, they know they can trust you. I would think that would be maybe the core of how you operate.
Trust and faith, and that develops early, not taking shortcuts. I'm very much for the long game.
Outstanding. Shot clock at 5. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. The Greats got the lead up to 2 now for Houston. And so Powell will bring it up for Los Angeles. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
And really showed their depth when they needed it most. On the road, having to manufacture points.
Yeah, and watching that, all kinds of contributions and just little things that guys were doing to chip in for that win.
Here's the Great. 17 points in the game. Right side, Green. That one goes in. Green's got 7 points in the game.
When Green goes up for that mid-range jumper, he gets way up in the air, makes it very difficult to contest.
Simmons sets a screen for Powell. Puts up a deep 3. Misses his second shot in 4 attempts from the field.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The Rockets shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. That free throw good from Eason. So the clock runs out with the score tied going into halftime. We've got more hoops coming your way in just a moment.
Glad you could join us. The story tonight for the Houston Rockets through 2 quarters, a tightly contested matchup.
I like their approach on the boards. Get in there, establish position. Aggressively go after the ball, Ernie.
If they come out on top tonight, Shaq, that's how they're going to do it, by being more active and more physical than the other team.
Moving on now to discuss the small forward clash that we saw in the first half of this one.
When you've got 2 great players going at it like this, buckle up. It's an adventure. I'm telling you, I think the second half, one will emerge as the top dog. Roof, roof.
Roof, roof.
2 big dogs at the top of the food. And that'll do it for halftime. We send you back to Kevin Harlan, who has the second half call.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge.
Hey, Coach, how many free throws do you have? Kawhi has no free throws. 23 points, just one. Let's see how we're going to handle. No turnovers. 8 fouls. Check, check. Yeah, 2. Okay. That's plus minus 4. So they're 4.7. Unless it comes on 4. So he's easy. 2 buckets when he's on the floor. Let's see.
It's been one outstanding game from the Great.
You've definitely been challenging the defense here early on, not settling for anything outside.
Yeah, you want these kind of nights where you can start to see those openings before they happen.
Taking a look at Los Angeles. The veteran wings, Powell and Leonard. The post pairing, Batum and Zubac. And it's Harden in at the 1 spot.
Green knows that he needs to take and make threes at a good clip. Nice shot there.
And here is Powell. Pass to Batum. Leonard looking around. Fires at the elbow. Good. Kawhi working near the hoop.
Yeah, Leonard can do this. He can just take over a game offensively.
And about a minute of action so far in the third quarter. Van Vliet outside. The great passes to Van Vliet. And another three for Houston.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those three-point attempts.
Outside Batum. 90 seconds now into the second half. Here's Harden. Banked in off the glass. Harden's got 9.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Van Vliet with it. 8 points for him. The great passes to Van Vliet. Here's the great. He's covered by Leonard. Back to Van Vliet. Takes it off the glass. Van Vliet's got the lead back up to 4 now for the Rockets.
And how about that? Coming out to start the half, a perfect 3 of 3.
Knocked away. It's stolen by Green. Down low. Here's the great. They kick it out to Green. Van Vliet passes to the great. Clock at 6. Houston needs to get a shot. And here's Van Vliet from the arc. And again, it's the Rockets from deep.
Making the easy shots and the tough shots. He's on top of his game.
And the timeout called here by Tyronn Lue. He wants a minute here to get things straightened out with his team.
Hard to break down. That's the only way I can sit here and break down a guy. That's my next thing. Really break down.
And Simmons, he's checked in for the Clippers. We have a chance now to look at the teams that have created the most points off turnovers this season. 5th, the Clippers.
They've shown a tremendous ability to cash in on their opponent's mistakes, creating offense with their defense.
Green against Powell. Fires the 3. Knocks down the 3 ball. Powell's got 10.
Good play by Powell. Just a strong field to take the 3 that time.
Green kicks to Smith. Here's the great. Out to Smith. And some nice passing there by Houston. Here's the great. 17 points in the game. It's good. The great's got 19 points.
They didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Pass to Powell. Over in the corner, Batum. Outside Leonard. A shot. Green with the rebound.
Another rebound hauled in. They're hitting the glass with a lot of passion.
The great passes to Landale. Outside Green to the middle. Smith with a screen on Powell. Inside, here's the great. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
Total letdown by the D. Can't leave the bucket unprotected.
Absolutely. And it takes an easy 2 points onto the lead.
Will not find a higher percentage opportunity than that.
Here's Powell. It's stolen by Green. Out to the right wing. Here's the great. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good.
One made 3 formed for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
They get the rebound. Leonard. Misses the layup. He had him with that pump fake. Rockets leading by 8. Here's the great. And that one drops. And it's now 23 points for the great.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Pass to Powell. On the wing, Batum. Here's Leonard. Second shot opportunity. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Oh, very difficult to just stop Kawhi.
MP, you're up.
We've played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter. Leonard against Smith, looking to get back on track here. Oh, the strength of Leonard.
Man, Kawhi adding a floater to his game is a nightmarish scenario for any defender.
And so Van Vliet will bring it up for Houston. They've led by as much as 10. At the guard positions, Van Vliet in green. Smith is out there with the gray, and it's Landale in at the center, locking down the middle. That's the 5 for Houston right now.
And one of the stories of the second half has been all of those second chance points. I mean, they have been terrific on the offensive backboard.
It's Powell on the wing, guarded by Green. Bogdanovich wide open. That 3 off the mark.
A good job by him on the glass here tonight. +8 in that department.
Now an update on Ivica Zubac from David Aldridge. David, what'd you find?
Thanks, guys. I got a status report from the Clippers' head athletic trainer.
And unfortunately, it sounds pretty serious.
It's tough news for the momentum of the team at this stage of the season. That's all we've got from now. Back to you, Kevin.
Good information, David. He's certainly been on our minds. Now, at least, Greg, we have a little more clarity.
Yeah, now they have the information they need to take the best course of action.
Everybody wishing the best for him. We all know how badly he wants to be out there, playing alongside his teammates and competing.
Shot clock at 6. The great misses.
Maybe a time to rest him right now. Just give him a bit of a breather. Try to help him get back on track.
2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Well, Bogdanovich being a little bit crafty there, knowing the defense was closing in on him, and drew the contact.
Nicholas Batum, he's checked in for Eubanks. And so Bogdanovich nails both of them. Around 3 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Van Vliet passes to the great. Doesn't go for him. Great D that time from Leonard.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly. And the next one puts him in the bonus.
All right, well, a look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Rockets.
They bullied the defense here in the paint. Look at all of those buckets inside. Just hard to defend in the paint.
And the other thing about their game tonight that they've done a terrific job of is just moving the basketball around. That's how you rack up assists.
To the inside. Just 5 to shoot. Zubac with the screen for Powell. And it's all evened up. Powell's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And he's finally getting the feel from beyond. His second 3 of the half right there.
And timeout is called by Ime Udoka. And he wants to see some changes out there right away and right now. Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Van Vliet passes to the great. An easy 2 points on the layup. The great's got 10 points here in the second half.
And the D not really doing its job there. A little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint.
Batum scanning the floor. Harden the pass to Bogdanovich. With some art, fouled. And The act of shooting gets the bucket anyway, so a three-point play chance for him.
And that,
and folks, the coach's challenge has been initiated for a person.
The ruling on the floor is confirmed. And now, where the officials can review in closer detail what constituted the.
Nah, this is OD. No. Ref, you're like actually smoking crack right now. He did not even touch him. They never touched. Nah, this is OD. In the clutch, ref, and you took a timeout. He didn't even touch him.
Original personal.
It's a glitch, but they used to fix that.
Sometimes make it a lot easier to determine.
Indeed, and the one thing with replay review is that when you see the slow motion. Replays, you really get a new appreciation for just the immense speed at which these players are moving and how fast the action really is and how hard it can be sometimes, Greg, to make the right call. And so the word is in. They've decided that the call stands as it was made on the floor.
And, even if a coach still feels this wasn't the right call, you got to acknowledge the effort being put in to reviewing it. The double checking, and the game continues on.
Here's the great. He's covered by Bogdanovich. And here's Van Vliet from the arc. Hits it from three-point range. And the Rockets lead by 2.
He has been an absolute wrecking ball from outside during this half, guys.
And Simmons kicks to Zubac. Pass to Harden. Launches it. Landale grabs the miss. And so Van Vliet will bring it up for the Houston Rockets. Lets it go. And Houston again with the bucket.
A great pass by Van Vliet. His first job on this squad is to facilitate.
Clippers trail by 4. Simmons passes to Batum. Harden against Green. Harden right side. Landale grabs the miss. Landale's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. And Green gets it to go.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
So for the Clippers, Leonard, he's checked in for Bogdanovich, and it's Powell in for Ben Simmons. And let's head over to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, over the break, I was able to listen to Tyronn Lue's huddle. Told his guys, I need you all to come together right now on both ends. This game is not over. You need to go out there and take control now. We'll see how it looks coming out of the timeout, guys.
Thanks, David. Driving to the basket. Van Vliet outside. The great passes to Landale. Here's the great. And some nice passing there by Houston. Leonard with the steal. There's the triple. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Smith's got his 4th rebound in this one. To the middle. Here's Landale. And down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
A great feed, and that assist gives him a triple-double. You gotta love that kind of player, able to get it done in just about every facet. How about these big shots for him in the fourth? He has been locked and loaded offensively.
Powell with the steal. Outside Leonard. And it's off the back rim, no good.
And that's just enough defensive pressure on him to throw off that shot. I bet he gets a good look at it next time and hits it. He's a guy that lives for a big moment like that. Great focus and courage in the clutch.
Here's the great pass to Van Vliet. To shoot. Here's the great. He's covered by Leonard. The great misses.
He lacks defense there. He's going to see fewer and fewer chances if he can't bury those kind of jumpers.
Leonard finds Powell. And trying for the go-ahead basket. It doesn't go in. Houston's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. The great goes up and lays it nice and easy. The great's got 8 points here in this quarter.
And obviously his momentum from the last game has carried over here tonight.
Yeah, the coach pretty smart for zoning in on him and giving him opportunities to stay with that confident play.
The Rockets pull it in.
He creates such a great opportunity right at the rim, and he just can't get it to go. Even with the defense not really a factor.
And Vliet on the wing. Pass to the great. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. It's on Kawhi Leonard.
You had a foul to give there, but you'd rather not have it cost your team points.
So he gets them both, and it's a 5-point game.
Perfect from the line. It's now a 2-possession game.
And the timeout called here by Tyronn Lue. Coach clearly feeling the necessity to regroup with so much at stake here. Here's the floater. Got it. What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
And clutch stuff from Kawhi, showing why he's been a Finals MVP 2 times already.
So the first one drops, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And so he drops them both. It's a 5-point game. There's 39 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
He drops the first one, and that shrinks the margin to just 4.
The fact that this is how they get in.
All free throws good from Kawhi Leonard.
And now down to a 1-possession game. Those foul shots, huge.
We can probably expect to see him slow it down now.
Yeah, I think you want to milk your possessions.
Van Vliet outside. 5 on the clock. The great. Good.
They're in total command of this game with time starting to run out.
Yeah, looking for a miracle worker out there is the opposing coaching staff. I don't know that they have
big
one.
body Kawhi for the bucket
and the Clippers
call time here. He's a scrub. He'll never. Now the only reason he's cooking is because you just can't guard him in this game. He's shooting under 50% for the night. That's what I've held him to. I've held him to shooting 27 shots to make 28 points. And he's only made 11 shots. Not to speak of the 4 free throws that they just gave him on purpose. So
down by 5. What do you think Coach's focus is going to be here?
Yeah, trying to get back in this thing, they need a score.
It's funny, at this point in the game, the coach is asking the team to be perfect. They haven't been to this point.
.15 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The three from Harden. They get it back. Leonard finds Batum. And again, no good by the Clippers. And so they choose to intentionally foul. Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And the second free throw, no good. A tough break there. No good there. So we see the Rockets get the win here. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans, but in the end, everyone's satisfied.
I mean, there were some times that momentum shifted, and especially early on, but let's give this group a lot of credit for that stick-to-itiveness in terms of finishing out and executing that game plan.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is
Okay, then. That's how we stand on business.
game MVP.